Hello everyone, CM Freeze here, and today I decided that I wanted to do a post or pre-combine NFL mock draft. I think the combine starts tomorrow if I'm not mistaken. So I wanted to quickly get in one final mock draft before the combine, and free agency starts soon, so I figured we can get one more raw mock draft in. And I figured I would bring in some help this time, so I decided to enlist another great YouTuber on this platform. Say hello to Unlucky Gaming.
Hello, my name is Thomas from Unlucky Gaming. I'm a super football fan. Love uploading it on my channel and love editing the videos.
Yes, me and Tommy, for all of you guys that know, actually have a joint Madden series. Have a joint Madden series on the channel. You can check out all 2 episodes of it.
You can check out all 2 episodes on his channel. I only edited one and didn't want to edit the rest of them.
Perfect. But enough of the PP sucking. Let's get on with the mock draft. And how we're going to do this, it's going to be no trades. If this video is well received, maybe we'll do another one together with trades. But Thomas likes the Raiders, so he wanted odds, and I'll take evens. So Thomas, you are on the clock. What will the Chicago Bears do with the first overall pick?
All right. This is one of the reasons why I wanted an odd numbered pick, is because I think the Bears always take one guy at number one. Well, I am going to be taking a guy that isn't attending the combine, but not Caleb Williams. I want Marvin Harrison Jr. at number one to the Bears. I think they should fucking stick with Fields. It's really stupid that they should be taking Caleb Williams at one. You have the best wide receiver prospect since Jamar Chase. And who before Jamar Chase? Who knows? Take Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah, I mean,
who was the best wide receiver prospect before Jamar Chase? I couldn't tell you. Like, I know there was your boy, Mr. Speed Kills,
Mr. 156 miles per hour in the back of a RAV4.
I actually don't know who was the best wide receiver prospect before Chase. I couldn't tell you. But you know what? I don't hate the Marvin Harrison Jr. pick. It spices up the mock drafts because usually we always have Caleb Williams going first overall. So some diversity is nice. I think in real life, if the Bears wanted Marvin Harrison Jr., they'd probably trade down. But in a mock draft with no trades, I don't hate it at all. So at pick 2, I'm going to have the Washington Commanders go Caleb Williams then. They just got Cliff Kingsbury to be their OC, and I'm sure Caleb Williams would probably want to shoot himself if he went to the Commanders and had to reunite himself with Cliff, but he can't choose where he gets drafted, and in this mock draft, where Caleb Williams is here at 2, the Washington Commanders will take their quarterback of the future with Caleb Williams.
All right. And now with the Patriots on the board, I do think this is a QB spot, and I think they are ecstatic that Drake May is here. I think this is a no-brainer. I do think 2 QBs go in the top 3, but I think the smartest move the Bears can do is take MHJ at 1 and give Fields that 4th year that all Bears fans want, even though I hate the Bears.
Pick 4. Ooh. I think what probably makes the most sense with how the board's gone for the Cardinals to go Malik Neighbors, but
I think you could have fun with this pick.
I could. You could definitely go a defensive player here as well. Cardinals. I don't know why Cooper DeJean has absolutely soared in PFF's rankings here. He's usually much lower. I'm also pretty sure Cooper DeJean declined to attend the combine, so here at pick 4, you know what? We're already having a little bit of fun with this mock draft. There's no way they're going to take Jaden Daniels here. No way.
I don't think so either.
I mean, what makes the most sense is probably Malik Neighbors, but I don't mind giving them Ole Fashanu here at pick 4. They last year drafted Paris Johnson Jr., who slid over to right tackle. Ole Fashanu can play left tackle for the Cardinals and give Kyler Murray much needed protection. And if Kyler Murray doesn't end up being the guy there, well, then any quarterback that goes there will have 2 elite tackle prospects on both sides of the ball to give them plenty of time to throw it to Rondell Moore.
I mean, I don't hate it. I mean, they could also re-sign Hollywood Brown. That's another reason why. I mean, I could see wide receiver being the pick, but it's a deep class. Pick one up in the second. Or actually, wait, don't they have 2 first-round picks?
Oh, they do actually. Yeah, the
pick up a
Cardinals
wide
do have
receiver
another
later in the
first-round
round.
pick. Yeah.
But with the Chargers on the clock, this is an interesting spot for me. As much as I would love it as a Raiders fan for the Chargers to be stupid and take a running back at 5, I really think this is probably Malik Neighbors. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. It makes sense. You have all these expiring contracts. Quentin Johnston was pretty... it was nice to watch him as a Raiders fan. He did excellent in my eyes. But if you're a Chargers fan, you might have thrown a TV remote at the wall. So I think that's a much needed help, especially if you lose like the 5 receivers that are on a contract here.
So the New York Giants here are in a predicament because both Neighbors and Marvin Harrison Jr. have fallen off the board for them. In real life, if that probably happened, I wouldn't be surprised if this was maybe a trade down spot. The New York Giants need help in a lot of places. But with how the board has fallen, I think I'm going to probably give them Rome Odunze. He's still a great wide receiver prospect. Very tall. I know he's that true. I recently watched... I know you know who he is. His name's like Brett something. Brett.
I can't remember. I don't. I'm familiar, but don't know the name.
Like he's a pretty popular sports analysis guy, and he was doing his analysis of Rome Odunze and Malik Neighbors, and he said it really determines what you want, because Rome Odunze is a number 1 guy and Malik Neighbors is a slot guy. I didn't realize it, but he said that Malik Neighbors lined up in the slot about 60% of his snaps this year.
Yeah.
So it's like, what would you prefer, the elite slot receiver in Malik Neighbors or the true number 1 in Rome Odunze? The Giants don't really have a true number 1, so I think Rome Odunze falling to them here at 6, they're still very happy with.
I could also make the case for Rome Odunze going at 5. I really like Rome Odunze. Like, obviously he's not MHJ, but I don't hate that pick.
No.
But
Has there ever been 3 wide receivers in the top 6?
When I think of wide receivers going high, there was the draft class with Corey Davis and Mike Williams. They both went in the top 10.
Yeah, this might be a first. 3 wide receivers in the top 6.
But at 7, you have the Titans, who are made the interesting decision to fire whatever that dude's name was.
Vrabel.
Mike Vrabel. Don't really love that idea for them. But what would the Titans go with? You have a question mark at QB. You really have a pretty dog shit offensive line. I think this is probably where Joe Alt goes. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Joe Alt here.
I do not hate the Joe Alt pickup.
Yeah, I mean, just build up the offensive line. I mean, you're going to want to keep Mr. Mayonnaise and Coffee. I can't remember his name. Or
Yeah, I
Will
always forget it.
Levis.
It's Will Levis. I always forget his name too. It's
You're
insane.
gonna want him to stand up, especially if he plays the Falcons again, so he can beat them.
Yeah, Fucker at his career game against Atlanta, and then did jack all after that.
Yeah, I mean
Speaking of,
this could also be a wide receiver spot, but like the receivers are gone. You're not taking like Troy Franklin here, or you're not reaching for Brian Thomas. Maybe pick up an Adonai Mitchell, Roman Wilson, or Xavier Worthy in the second or third round for that.
Atlanta at 8, I think this is a no-brainer. They're taking Jaden Daniels here if he does fall to them at 8. There have been so many reports. I don't know if you saw this, but literally dead ass Raheem Morris yesterday in a press conference, word for word said, I shouldn't say word for word because I can't exactly remember it, but he basically said that the team was really good except for quarterback play. And he said that if the Falcons had good quarterback play last year, that he wouldn't be a Falcon. Basically saying like Arthur Smith got fired because of bad quarterback play. So he's like, we have a really good team. We just need to address the quarterback situation. And I think Atlanta is probably going to trade up for a quarterback, which I think would be probably a bad mistake. But in a world where Jaden Daniels falls to them at 8, I think they are ecstatic. Heisman winner this year. Get a really good quarterback as long as they can just clean up some things, and we'll see how that goes.
I think a fun pick here. Instead of Jaden Daniels, what about Brock Bowers? I think that would be super fun.
We just cut Jonnu Smith. Dude, what if the Falcons drafted Brock Bowers at 8? Oh my god.
All right.
If Arthur Smith was still on the team, we might, honestly.
That is potentially true. But with the Bears at 9, you pass up on all the QBs, not going QB. They don't need one. Justin Fields, my quarterback, because he's ass. I'm just kidding.
You gave them JJ McCarthy.
No, I'm not going to give them JJ McCarthy. So you have a number 1 wide receiver. It's way too early to take center. I could make a case for this being Brock Bowers or defensive line, and seeing that Dallas Turner and Jared Verse are still here, I think I'm going to go Jared Verse at 9 to the Bears. Have a nice power rusher to pair up with Montez Sweat. You guys need defense. If there was a really good safety in this class, I would argue for safety, because you guys thought that Eddie Jackson's been good for the last 5 years. He hasn't been good since 2018. So
yeah, I don't really know too much about the safeties. On God, I don't even know who. Oh wait, I've heard of Tyler Nubin. I've heard of Javon Bullard, obviously from Georgia, and I've heard of Cameron Kitchens. I couldn't tell you any of these other safeties. I only know of Nubin, Bullard, and Kitchens.
Yeah, no,
I could not tell you anyone else.
They just need help on defense. I think if you go MHJ and Jared Verse or Dallas Turner, you're not mad about that.
No, I really like the Bears getting Jared Verse at 9. Jets at 10. I think this needs to be Fuagu here for the Jets. They just need offensive line help bad. When Aaron Rodgers played 4 snaps for them and was under pressure for all 4 of them, you know the O-line plays bad. I'm actually really disappointed that Mekhi Becton just constantly got riddled with injuries and was never able to develop, because he would have been really fun. But Tole Fuagu can play anywhere on the offensive line. Jets instantly can start him and hopefully give Aaron Rodgers some much needed protection so he can go longer than 4 snaps this offseason.
I can agree with that. Offensive line would have been my pick there too. Not really too much they really need. You have Elijah Moore.
Yeah, I don't really know what the Vikings are going to do. I've heard so much shit. Like, I've heard so many reports that the Vikings are keeping Jefferson. I've heard reports that they're trading him. Same thing with Cousins. I've heard that they really want to bring him back. I've also heard that Cousins probably wants to go to a contender. So I got no clue what the Vikings are going to do, actually.
But the other thing is that they're losing either both or one of Daniil Hunter and Marcus Davenport. Like
That is true.
you're losing your top edge guys. I don't know who your number one corner is. I know that they've underperformed.
They have
because one of them's a
Ryan
Clemson.
Murphy. I just know that because he went from Arizona to Minnesota, because everyone in Arizona was really pissed off that they didn't re-sign Brian Murphy.
Well, I know one of their DBs is a Clemson guy that's underperformed, like Andrew something. I can't remember his name. So I could really see this being anybody at the top of the board here. And I think with how far he's fallen, I think this would be a massive pickup if they were to take Terry and Arnold.
Ooh. I like the Tyrion Arnold pickup.
I think, I mean, is Harrison Smith still playing? I'm pretty sure he is.
I think he's still playing.
I mean, how old is he? Probably 35.
Probably.
He is 35.
Maybe you should have given him Cooper DeJean so he could have trained under Harris, Mr. Smith.
No, I think Arnold is probably your best overall DB in this class, or like most like starting ready. And I think that could be a good way to start potentially rebuilding this defense that honestly they look like they're going to be a team that's in the top 10 for the next like 3 years. Why not go for a more cornerstone pick than a more flashy / riskier pick?
Yeah. So Denver at 12. Honestly, I probably would have given them JJ McCarthy just because of how much I've heard he's been rising up draft boards. But with the Dallas Turner falling to 12, I think I have to give Dallas Turner to the Denver Broncos here. Really good edge rusher prospect. He's young, can develop. Broncos don't really have an edge rusher since they lost respecter of pregnant women Von Miller and Bradley Chubb.
Bradley Chubb had a clean record.
Yeah, no, Bradley Chubb was fine. Bradley Chubb was fine. Von Miller, we don't need to talk about him.
Pregnant women respecter. Oh my
But
God.
now Denver finally gets a replace at edge rusher. Much needed help. That defense has always been the staple of that franchise. So give them another really good edge rusher, which they can use to dominate that defense.
I don't hate that pick. And now we have my team at 13. And
I already know where I'm going. Oh, yeah.
special teams. You want me to take Kelvin Mevis or Harrison Mevis?
I don't even know any of these kickers. I'm going to be dead serious.
I know who
I
Will
have not.
Reichard is.
Dude, it doesn't even show you their stats. I don't even know these fuckers' stats.
Because you're broke boy, can't afford it.
Can't afford those kicker stats, dude.
Now my current state of the Raiders. You have 25-year-old rookie Aiden O'Connell, or second year now. Josh Jacobs is undetermined. The whole offensive line sucks except for Colton Miller. Defensive line, you have Max Crosby, Tyree Wilson. You don't take an edge. Defensive tackle could be the pick here. Linebacker would honestly be my pick here if any of them were good enough to be in the first round. Or realistically, anywhere at DB. I think because the Raiders always chase big name schools. I think this is and with what's his nuts being our head coach, I think this is a Kool-Aid McKinstry pick at 13. You have
Kool-Aid McKinstry?
you have a big name player, or you have a big name player got outplayed by Terrion Arnold because I mean Kool-Aid was the best best corner, didn't get targeted as often. You have a big name school that's just a Mark Davis pick, big name school, first round. You can basically write those two together. You're not gonna see fucking what's his name pick a Cooper DeJean from Iowa. I could see Nate Wiggins, but I feel like Mr. Antonio Pierce would influence to Kool-Aid McKinstry. Oh, I'm picking Kool-Aid McKinstry. I think
Is this what you want the Raiders to do, or you think the Raiders will do?
this is what I think the Raiders will do. We'll go for a big name school. I think Nate Wiggins, Byron Murphy could both be that. I could also see J.C. Latham. It's the Raiders.
Yeah.
We pick a big name, and I think the only time we really haven't is when we picked Colton Miller out of UCLA in 2018. After that, it's always been like an Alabama guy, Ohio State guy, and just somebody from a bigger name school. So I'm going to keep on that trend. I think we could use a corner anyway. Kool-Aid McKinstry would do that for us. Yeah, that's about it.
No, I don't hate it. The Saints here, I think that they could do a lot of things. They're currently in salary cap hell, and it's not looking good for them. On God, this could literally be so many things for the Saints. I could even see a world where they take Brock Bowers, in all honesty. So you kind of just have to take a wild guess here, and knowing the Saints, they always draft D-line and they always miss. So I don't know if they're going to be scared to take D-line. I mean, look at how many years in a row they took Marvin Davenport. Last year they took Brzee, and I guess it didn't really start that much, but the year before that they took Zach Bond. Bust. So it's like these fuckers always take,
like Peyton
and then the year
Turner
before
or something like that.
Oh yeah, Peyton Turner too. Yeah, bust. Saints always shooting fire in the first round and always miss. So I don't know if they would take if they're again going to try to take a guy on the defensive line or go elsewhere and realize their mistakes. Just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna give him J.C. Latham just so we have 4 Bama players going in a row.
I was between J.C. Latham and Kool-Aid McKinstry, but I'm just thinking defensive-minded head coach. You had our Raiders had their first good defense, and I think he would be more likely to go with Kool-Aid than to go for a QB in that spot.
Yeah.
Now
Go
ahead.
I was going to say Saints could do anything, so I just gave them. They do need tackle help. They need a left tackle. J.C. Latham can be a left tackle, and give Derek Carr his much-needed protection so he can ball out.
Yeah. Well, number 15, the slide is going to end. This is where Brock Bowers, I think, will go. Give Anthony Richardson another weapon, and all their tight ends are not better than Brock Bowers, base level right now. So I could also see that being Cooper DeJean, but I have a different team that I think Cooper DeJean will go to.
No, I don't hate it. And Seattle here at 16, they need a lot of things, but they recently just brought in the defensive-minded head coach from the Ravens. Seahawks defense, kind of ass. So I think that this could be multiple things here. I know that they traded their second-round pick for Leonard Williams, and he was a free agent, and I don't think they've even re-signed him. So Leonard Williams could walk. So I'm just going to give him the best D tackle in the class, which is probably Byron Murphy II here. Head coach from Seattle who came over from Baltimore. Baltimore loves their defensive line play. They just like their big physical defensive linemen, and I think Byron Murphy will fit that role perfectly now in Seattle.
Jags at 17. I think this is probably my easiest pick out of all of them. This is going to be Jackson Powers Johnson. I mean, only center that's probably going in the first round. I think it's a bit acceptable for him to go in this 20 range. Maybe it's a little bit of a reach. Maybe you trade down a couple spots, but I think this is probably my easiest pick outside of MHJ to the Bears.
No, I don't hate it. Now, Bengals at 18, it's kind of crazy how all of these corners have fallen, but I don't know if the Bengals need corner.
Corners always slide though.
Yeah.
like we think of
That's
the
true.
class of Grady Williams. You had me thinking that Grady Williams would have been a top 10 pick. He fell to the second round, and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same thing happened with the LSU guy that year. What's that guy's name? Hurt his back. Number 7. Fuck.
LSU corner.
Fuck. What? No, he was a safety. Grant Del Pitt. Because remember in Madden, he was always an X factor when in the graded classes that was going to go in the top 5. But then, like, his senior season wasn't amazing, so then he became a second round prospect. DBs and safeties always fall, so
Yeah,
it doesn't shock
Bengals
me.
here. This could honestly be anything. Like, I seriously actually don't know if they need corner or not. I know that they had drafted. They got that free safety. I know they got guys over there. I think that defense is pretty solid. Offensively, they're pretty good too. So I think the Bengals, they're in a set position where if they're probably thinking to themselves, hey, if we actually had our quarterback, we would be set. Oh, wait, I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm giving them Brian Thomas Jr. I've done this in a couple of mock drafts, and I just love this fit. Because I know that they just franchise tagged T. Higgins, but I also saw that the GM came out and said, hey, T. Higgins can also be... We also don't mind trading him if the team gives us a good enough offer. And I know Tyler Boyd's a free agent too, so the only wide receiver that's set in stone is Jamar Chase. And I think if you give them another LSU guy, Jamar Chase might be more incentivized to stay there because now he'll have a young buck that he can train as well. And you give Joe Burrow another LSU wide receiver, and I like the fit because he goes to LSU, honestly. If he didn't, I probably would have picked something else.
I personally,
you gotta like the LSU storylines.
I probably would have gone Amarius Mims there. I mean,
yeah, I also didn't hate Liatu Lot. You could, I mean, Bengals are in a position to take anything, but in a world where maybe a team does offer a first round pick for T. Higgins, maybe you trade away T. Higgins and you can also get Amarius Mims and Bryce Thomas Jr., you know?
All right. Yeah, no, I don't hate it. At pick 19, this is kind of what I'm thinking. This is either Cooper DeJean or JJ McCarthy. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I think JJ McCarthy isn't an offensive pick here. Like, I don't think you'd be too mad at it. I mean, current Rams fans would probably want something that could help them win now, but I think JJ McCarthy would be in that kind of Mahomes, Jordan Love situation where you're not going to see him play unless if the person above him gets hurt or is getting benched because you already secured a playoff spot / the first overall seed. So I think it's a good pick. Everybody doesn't really care for McCarthy because he didn't have to throw the ball. Who fucking cares? When he did do it, he was good at it. Like, the scheme, he played well in the scheme. I think I don't know what I want to go with here. It's either Cooper DeJean or McCarthy.
I think McCarthy's just kind of unproven. You know, obviously Michigan loved to run the ball. And I mean, McCarthy did look good when he had to throw the ball. You're right, but you know, a lot of the times when teams are playing for the run, it's not like he really had to make any tight throws most of the time. But I also don't hate the JJ McCarthy pick. I know he's young. If you wanted to sit him behind Stafford, I think that would be a perfect situation for him because what Stafford's getting up there in age, you can have him sit for a year or two, then have him start. But I think a player like Cooper DeJean, who could be seen as one of the best corners in the class, he's still here at 19. I'm fine with either or, honestly.
I feel like this is such a weird spot.
Honestly, though, for the thumbnail, I would do JJ McCarthy at 19, just so I can put in the thumbnail and get clicks.
Okay. You know what?
No, you want Cooper DeJean. I could tell from from that pause.
My thing is,
you want Cooper. Well, let's draft Cooper.
I'm
then.
also no. I'm also looking at like Liatu Latu, and I'm also looking at Jersey Newton. I'm looking at Nate Wiggins. Like, any of these guys on the Rams have a good chance of developing. I'm gonna go with JJ McCarthy. I mean, Cooper Kupp's old. I don't know who their number one tight end is. Offensive line's not great. Defensive line, Aaron Donald's like 32, 33, maybe even 31, somewhere in the early 30s.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a team that could try and put it in overdrive to try and win now and make the playoffs. But I think this team is also on quite the decline, to the point where it might just be better to start building for the future than to keep riding on Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp. Oh,
No,
I guess
I
I had
don't-
Puka Nacua. I forgot about him.
Yeah. No, I don't hate that at all. For Steelers, I'm going to easily give them Nate Wiggins here. They really need corner help. I watched that game against Buffalo, and Josh Allen was able to carve him up alive. There's no real quarterbacks that you would really want to take here. This could be Amarius Mims. I know I've seen that a lot. Pair up Amarius Mims with
Fucking Brock, not Brock
Broderick
Broderick.
Jones.
Yeah, Broderick Jones. Not
Yeah,
Brock
Broderick
Bowers.
Jones. But they really need defensive back help, and you can give Nate Wiggins a buddy with Joey Porter Jr., and the two of them can kind of tear it up there in Pittsburgh for a long time.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. 21, the Dolphins. Hey, this is going to be a tackle spot for me. I think this is going to be Amarius Mims. Help out the offensive line. It's simple as that. I mean, just make your offense, give Tua even more time to throw to Hill or Waddle.
I don't agree. And I think the Eagles are one of the teams that every single year it seems like a player always falls right into their lap. And I think Cooper DeJean here to the Eagles is just another example of a really good player just falling right into their lap. Eagles quarterback play, dog shit. Absolutely fucking trash this season. James Bradbury is straight ass. They traded for, what was it, Kevin Byard? Ass. I think they still have Darius Slay, who's good, but behind that, they got absolutely nobody. And I think Cooper DeJean would fit in perfectly there in Philadelphia, especially with that Eagles villain culture. I think Cooper DeJean can easily fit in and be a menace there.
I mean, I think the Eagles are also a team that are not exactly on an upward slope. I mean, offensively, you've got the quarterback, wide receiver, tight end trio, but like offensive line, some spots getting old, especially with Kelsey, Lane Johnson.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe Kelsey even retires. You know,
Yeah.
then now you have a massive hole at center if he does.
That has not come out yet. The secondary is only getting older. I don't even know who their linebacker core is anymore.
Pass.
They kind of did what the Rams did and kind of traded for splash picks, and it did not work out for them. So I
mean,
like
they
the Cooper
almost
DeJean
won the
pick.
Super Bowl. They almost did won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they almost
They
beat.
got close.
Almost beat. Fucking Mahomes. Fuck Mahomes.
Anyways, who are you picking here with the Houston Texans?
I mean, I don't understand why this is saying they need wide receiver. I mean, it seems like last year Nico Collins and that guy that got hurt, I can't think of what his name is.
Oh, Tank Dell.
Yeah, Tank Dell. I feel like they definitely deserve the spot of being the main two guys next year. You don't have a tight end here. You're going to take Jersey Newton has slid a little bit. I think the earliest he could have gone was the Broncos or the Raiders. And he's going to be my pick here. You took Will Anderson Jr. last year. I know you have another Bama guy up there, Christian Harris, and I don't know how he exactly has played in real life, but I just think this is a good fit. You get a replacement. You can finally kind of get a replacement for Vince Wilfork, even though it's however many
Damn.
years later. Actually,
Damn,
no, he's not
poured
even
out the Vince Wilfork
He's not even.
reference.
He's not even. Well, Wilfork played heavier,
Yeah.
but you're just getting a D tackle that can do the job. So that's my
Now-
logic there.
Dallas here at 24.
You should have your dad make the pick if he's there.
No, he's at work, sadly. Or else I would. Honestly, though, this could be a lot of things. Dallas's offensive line. I mean, Dallas's defense, though. I think they're going to want defensive help, especially with how bad you saw that defense play. And does Mike Zimmerman run a 3-4 or a 4-3 defense? Actually, don't know.
I think he runs a
If they were
4-3.
4-3.
I'm trying to remember. I think it might be a 4-3.
You know, Dallas could do so many things here, and I'm trying to think. Jershaw Newton even could have been a play for him. Dallas could do so many things here with this pick. I think offensive line and Tyler Guyton makes sense because I do know that I think Tyron Smith's walking in free agency, so now they need a left tackle. They don't really have money to probably go out and sign a left tackle. So I think I'll. I really want to give him Laiatu Latu for some reason, but I don't think I can justify it.
The one that's sticking out to me is Peyton Wilson. I mean, the only linebacker that can go in the first round is Leighton Vander Esch. Been that guy at all recently? I mean, I'm pretty sure he got extended and then kind of fucked off.
Yeah, he's been interesting. Yeah, Dallas can do a lot of things here.
I think it's best
I just
player
know
available.
how much.
And if
best
player available is Laiatu Latu, I can get behind.
I'm trying to justify giving them Laiatu Latu
because that one guy's getting old, DeMarcus Lawrence.
Fuck it. DeMarcus Lawrence is getting old. 31. He's aging. I mean, I want to give him Laiatu Latu. I don't really know why. I just think that would be a pretty cool 1-2 combo of Micah Parsons and Laiatu Latu. Even though that makes no sense, actually. Like, this is probably a pick that makes no sense. Like, they need so much more besides edge rusher help. But
Cowboys fans, if you would have done something different, let us know. We probably won't respond to it. And
I'll respond to it if a Cowboys fan tells me I'm an idiot. I just really wanted to do this for some reason. Maybe DeMarcus Lawrence is getting too old. Family man, he wants to go focus on his wife and kids, or some stupid shit like that. Thomas, what's the pick at 35?
Well, my pick to the Packers was originally going to be Nate Wiggins. I think he's a guy that would slide a lot. And, well, he's already gone. And you have a wide receiver at the top of the board here. That is never going to happen. So for me, I'm just trying to think, what else do the Packers need? And the big one that sticks out to me is tackle. Bakhtiari gets hurt. But then, like, he gets hurt all the time. I feel like I see him on the injury report more than I see him actually playing.
Excellent.
I think this is going to be... I think this is a Troy Fautanu or Tyler Guyton. I'm going to go Troy Fautanu at 25 to the Packers. Give Jordan Love not the sexy pick, but the necessity pick is what I'm going to call it.
No, I think offensive line for the Packers makes a lot of sense. They already have a lot of good weapons there for Jordan Love to throw it to. They draft defense every single fucking year, so that defense is loaded with young talent. And here at 26, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a team that also could literally do anything here. And I think I'm going to give them Graham Barton, because he tackle at a Duke, who's projected to more so be a guard. The Buccaneers, I know they just lost Ryan Jensen. They lost another interior offensive line. That run game shit because they have no run game in the interior offensive line. So give them a really good guard here to protect, hopefully, Baker Mayfield. We'll see what happens there.
What does that offensive line have? I know they have Cody Mock, who, I mean, in college,
they have,
was a mauler.
Tristan
Wirfs, LOL.
Wirfs. Besides that, though, it's ass. Like, Tristan Wirfs and then just nothing after that.
That could have been a Bo Mix spot for me. I mean, I
think that determines if they sign Baker or not. Yeah.
Well, I think even if you sign Baker, it could be a Bo Mix spot if you only give Baker like a 2 to 3 year deal.
Yeah.
I mean, we literally watched Jordan Love sit for every year of his rookie contract except for his 5th year option.
Yeah.
Like,
but you got the Arizona Cardinals here at 27, Thomas. What's the game plan?
What do we do here? What did I take with them? They took tackle at 4.
Yeah, I gave him Ole Fashanu.
All right. Well, so Cameron, this is going to be a little bit of a long-winded section, but when I decided that I was going to make a Cardinals thing for YouTube recently, that when I started editing, don't want to anymore. I initially traded back with the Cardinals and took I took Nate Wiggins at pick 15. And my second pick, I took Chop Robinson and pick 27. I am not going to do that. I am going to take who I took with pick 4 of the second round. I'm going to take Adonai Mitchell here. You have a number 1 wide receiver, 6'4", pretty fast. I mean, he's not Marvin Harrison Jr., but I mean, he's a guy that can play the position. I also could see Xavier Worthy being here. Actually, not Xavier Worthy, but I mean,
I don't hate it. I don't hate the Adonai Mitchell pick. He's young.
You guys want a wide receiver? There's your wide receiver. That's
basically I don't hate it. He gets to stay in a warm weather state. I'm sure Kyler Murray is really going to be happy with getting a franchise left tackle and a really good wide receiver, which Buffalo at 28. I am going to draft them Keon Coleman. Really big jump ball wide receiver here at 28. Gabe Davis is reportedly walking in free agency.
He's fucking not good anyway. Fuck, you guys are thinking had one good playoff game.
Okay, who do the Buffalo Bills have behind?
I'm saying fuck Gabe Davis. I don't know. I like this pick. I'm just saying fuck Gabe Davis.
I mean, Stephon Diggs is smaller, doesn't really show up in the postseason. Give Josh Allen a big body, number 1, go up and get it kind of wide receiver guy so that Stephon Diggs can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Could have given him even bigger body. Johnny Wilson, 6'7", basically tight end playing wide receiver.
Dub. Johnny Wilson. Oh yeah, shit. Yeah.
But
all right.
The Lions at 29. You're a bit of clock management away from being in the Super Bowl. But like Campbell said, they just had a really good season, have a target on their back. I don't know what you go here. I mean, clearly they're believing in Goff. Let's go Chop Robinson here at 29. I mean, I don't hate it. A lot of these bottom slots are pretty solid trade out spots. I also think any of these spots could be somebody trading up to potentially snag Bo Nix for the 5th year option. Like, I could totally see that potentially being the Bears. You could have the Bears trade up. I don't think they take Bo Nix, but that's just an example.
I mean, honestly, do the Ravens here take Bo Nix? Like, Lamar Jackson can't get it done in the playoffs. He isn't.
There's no way that's actually a conversation, right?
No, I'm not.
I was like,
I'm giving him Quinyon Mitchell.
When you said that, like, you keep up to date more on football than I do.
No, fuck, no. Dude, he just won his second MVP and got like a 5-year billion-dollar contract. I'm giving him Quinyon Mitchell, really good corner out of Toledo. Ravens are in a position where they can really just go best player available, and I believe that Quinyon Mitchell was the best player available on the board.
All right, and now we get to be on the clock of notorious game choker Kyle Shanahan. What do you take here at pick 31? My pick is going to be offensive line. This will be Tyler Guyton. I don't really know who else they would really need. I mean, you got to the Super Bowl. should have won the Super Bowl. I mean, we'll just wait to
Yeah.
we'll just wait to give the Chiefs the game. I mean, the Lions kind of did the same thing to the 49ers, where it's just
That's
like
true. But with the Chiefs here, I on God have no clue what they would take with how this board has fallen. Wide receivers, obviously their biggest position of need, but do I like any? I don't understand why people are so high on Ladd McConkey. I'm gonna be dead serious
McConkey?
with you. I watched him at Georgia. It's like he's okay. I don't understand the first round talent behind him, to be honest. I would say he's more of like a late second kind of guy.
I mean,
Wide receiver is a big position of need, but I just don't know who it would be here. Like Troy Franklin is kind of a speed guy, and the Chiefs have that. I guess they did just cut whatever that fucker's name is. Guy who can't catch for shit. So I don't
MVS.
honestly really know, MVS, who would be here. The Chiefs could do anything. You're right. This is probably a trade up spot, honestly, for either
Whoever
Bo
wants
Nix or
Bo
Michael
Nix.
Penix Jr.
Yeah,
But I mean, in a world where the Chiefs,
can't trade them. Their telephones don't work.
I guess I have seen that Ladarius Sneed is probably not, the Chiefs probably aren't going to be able to pay him. So we'll just give him Ernest Jr., Missouri boy, keep him close to home. And that is just
Enos
what I'm going
Rakestraw.
to pick. Yeah. I know that Daniel Jeremiah Jr. is pretty high on him.
I think a Roman Wilson there wouldn't be terrible. That's what I was personally thinking. But
Anyways, I really like looking at this 4 Bamas in a row and then no Bama the rest of the draft.
I mean, those are really the only Bama guys that are gonna go. And I mean, to justify the Raiders pick, Raiders take big name schools. I mean, let me look at the last.
It wouldn't be the first time the Raiders have taken a player from Bama, and unfortunately, the track record is dog shit from Bama players drafted to the Raiders. So hopefully, Kool-Aid McKinstry doesn't have a gambling
What do you mean?
problem.
Henry Ruggs was doing fantastic before he decided to get in his Corvette.
Who was the But wasn't there? Who's the
Alex
offensive
Leatherwood?
lineman? Exactly. I'm saying you're 0 for 2 on Bama players.
Hey,
in the last
but we also had
couple
Josh
of years.
Jacobs.
I mean, he might not even be on the team, dog.
Yeah, but that was still. We still
Yeah.
overworked him the year before this year, and he was the leading rusher of what's it called? But if I look at the Raiders' last first round picks since Colton Miller, you have Clemson, Bama, and I guess Mississippi State with Jonathan Abram. You have Alabama, Ohio State. You have Alabama, no first round pick, and then Texas Tech. Texas Tech is the only one that wasn't big name school. But then we even took a Bama player in
Yeah.
the third round.
Yeah. No, I don't hate it, but I think this is where we need to sign off, Thomas. It was very fun getting to do this with you.
Oh, it was just a pleasure. I can't wait for all the Bears fans to love me for me giving them MHJ at 1. Even
Yeah,
though
if-
what I say has no bearing over what your guys' stupid owner is going to do.
This has been CM Freeze and Unlucky Gaming. We'll be back at it with the new mock draft hopefully soon.
Post Combine, baby.